Hello and welcome to another episode of Disney Movie Investigation. If this is your first time watching, welcome to the show. In each episode, we take a look at a movie that is featured on Disney+. On this episode, we are taking a look at a musical modern remake as we take a look at West Side Story, directed by Steven Spielberg. And if you are enjoying these episodes, I would ask that you please hit that subscribe button. That way you'll be notified with each new video. But for now, sit back and enjoy this episode of Disney Movie Investigation. So like I said, today we're covering West Side Story. This movie was released on November 21st, 2021. It was directed by Steven Spielberg. The screenplay was written by Tony Kushner. The production companies were Amblin Entertainment and TSG Entertainment, and it was distributed by 20th Century Studios. The budget for this movie was $100 million, and it did a box office return of $76 million. So let's take a look at the production. In March of 2014, Steven Spielberg expressed interest in directing an adaptation of West Side Story, stating that it was one of his favorite musicals growing up. This led to 20th Century Fox quickly grabbing the screen rights to the musical, and Tony Kushner, who had previously worked with Steven Spielberg on Munich and Lincoln, stated in July of 2017 that he had been hired to write the screenplay. He stated that he was leaving all of the musical numbers intact and that his screenplay would be more of a faithful adaptation of the musical as opposed to the previous movie. In January of 2018, Spielberg was deciding between his next two projects, and he was deciding between Indiana Jones 5 and West Side Story. A few days later, an open casting call was called for the characters of Maria, Tony, Anita, and Bernardo. Additional open casting calls were held in New York City in April and Orlando, Florida in May. In July, the fifth Indiana Jones had been delayed because of massive rewrites, allowing Spielberg to start pre-production on West Side Story. Justin Pack was hired to choreograph the film, and while filming occurred in Harlem and in New York City, along with 10 days of shooting in New Jersey, where an outdoor set was built for some of the musical numbers. Paul Tazewell, who had been known for his work on Hamilton and The Wiz, served as a costume designer for the film. And then David Newman and Gusto Di Mano were hired as the musical directors, with John Williams, Steven Spielberg's frequent collaborator, being hired as a consultant. There would be a soundtrack released on Hollywood Records on December 3rd, 2021. So let's take a look at the cast. So we have Ansel Elgort, who plays Tony, Rachel Zegler, who plays Maria, Ariana DeBose, who plays Anita, David Alvarez plays Bernardo, Michael Fast, who plays Riff, Rita Mornaro, who plays Valentina, Brian DeAC James, who plays Sergeant Kirkpike, and Corey Stoll, who plays Lieutenant Schrank. In terms of the plots, so the movie takes place on Manhattan in the Upper West Side, and in 1957, and against the backdrop of decaying tenements in the Swan Juan Hill neighborhood and the constant threat of the wrecking ball, two warring gangs of rough, tough Riffs Jets and the swaggering Bernardo Puerto Rican Sharks fight for supremacy. Now, once and for all, a winner-take-all rumbles on the cards, and an unexpected whirlwind romance at the high school dance between former jet brawler Tony and Bernardo's delicate little sister Maria sets the stage for an all-out turf war. But what is the gang without its territory? And above all, for when the future is uncertain, what hope is there without love? So this was a movie that was delayed because of the COVID-19 pandemic. It was originally scheduled to come out in December of 2020, but it was delayed a full year because obviously the world was shut down. So in terms of recommending this movie, if you're a huge musical person, then it's definitely one I would recommend. It is a flat-out musical where it is very slick and very performance-based. It does not attempt to create any realism. A lot of the choreography is outstanding. Rachel Zegler's performance is definitely worth watching alone. And then overall, like, the musical numbers are very well done. If you're not a musical fan, this is one I would maybe skip because it is quite long and it is, like, again, very performance-based musical. So again, if you're looking for that realism or that kind of down to reality, I don't think this is one for you. I definitely enjoyed the movie. It is definitely one that I think they did very well. In terms of my favorite movie, it's probably not going to be one that I go to frequently. Again, very well done, choreography, music, everything well done, but it just doesn't hit my kind of favorite top 10 list. So recommended if you're a musical fan, not recommended if you hate musicals, because it definitely is a musical. So thank you so much for joining us here on another episode of Disney Movie Investigation. I would invite anyone to please leave a comment below on what they think of West Side Story. And as we look forward to our next episode, we're going to be taking a look at a Pixar classic as we take a look at A Bug's Life. So until next time, I hope you have a magical day, and we will see you real soon.